What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Ready to Love. I know I've been MIA, but I cannot let the reunion come on before I talk about the past two episodes, okay? I gotta be completely honest with y'all. When it comes to Philly, I think this needs to be a one season there, and we're done. Because y'all know that Ready to Love, they love to do 2 seasons in a city, and then they'll move on to the next place. If this is what Philly has, baby, we don't want it. Because the past two episodes, I'm just so confused. Let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, we had on the second to last episode, the guys brought their families around so the ladies can meet them, right? And the one thing that really stood out was the fact that we found out that Rose's child's father is in prison. Y'all, I don't understand why that was such a big deal. And why was she being punished for his crimes? I'm not even a fan of Rose, but I thought that it was absolutely crazy that you had Hussein as well as Cam feeling some type of way about how she didn't tell them about her child's father. No, Negro, you didn't ask. Neither one of y'all. I feel like y'all saw Rose and was like, oh yeah, she's beautiful. Let me get to know her a little bit. When you found out that she had a 17-year-old child, you got the green light in your head to be like, oh great, I could date her. Her child about to go off to school or move out, and I ain't got to worry about that kid. I don't have to step in as a stepfather. So whoever that baby daddy is, he's irrelevant because he won't be in our lives. I feel like that's how they thought. But because it was revealed to Hussein in front of his family, and she said, oh, and we haven't even talked about this, that made him make this into a whole big deal, and it really wasn't that deep. Why are we punishing her because her ex, who was not there and was not around, who she ain't been with in 17 years, why is she being punished for his crimes? That don't make no damn sense. And then when we saw the conversation between Hussein and Rose, when he took her out on a separate date and basically told her, well, you know, Kiera, she has, her ex was in jail and she told everybody, so why didn't you? No, that's not how that works, first of all. All because one person said something, that doesn't mean everybody got to chime in with that I got a man in jail story. Or should I say I got an ex in jail stories. That's not how that works. Also, the difference here is that Kiera was with that man for 12 to 13 years. I think Kiera was still with that man when he was in prison, okay? Or around the time that he was about to go to prison, Kiera was still with that man, okay? The difference here is that Rose ain't been with her ex in 17 years. Do we see how that's not the same thing? Like, at this point, I can never take Hussein or Cam serious, okay? Speaking of Cam, y'all, there is no way that we were this close to the end of the season and Cam still had 3 connections. Why did he have 3 women meet his family? Ready to Love people, we have got to do better. We have absolutely got to do better. Because there is no way that you can tell me that it was okay for Cam to have 3 women meet his family when we were this close to the end of the goddamn show. Like, in what world would that ever be okay? Like, I don't understand how Tommy has never been like, okay, you have to narrow it down. Because he's done it on previous seasons. He has absolutely done that. Why didn't we do this in like episode 6? Like, why do we have all these connections, Cam? You know that you would not work well with Rose. She's religious. You're not. What are we still doing this for? I don't understand why Angie busting out windows is still relevant. Like, has she bust yours out? No. So what are we talking about? Just frustrating, okay? This show can be very frustrating. Let me go ahead and move on to the last episode. Now, first of all, they had that little brunch that they always have for Ready to Love for the last episode. And for some reason, Tommy decided to make a little statement to Tay and Cisco about how his wife had to carry him in the beginning and now she don't want for anything. Sir, weren't you in college? Cisco is 40 plus. There's a big difference, baby. There's a huge difference. These are not the same things. Also, the way Tay has been gaslit to accept Cisco being a brokey is crazy to me. And I'm like, girl, I hope that you look back on this and be like, let me never do this again. Because I don't believe that they're going to be together when we get to the reunion. Ain't no way. But back to the show. Angie and Hussein, they met up and he was supposed to meet her family. This is what really pissed me off. Now, because he had his mind on Rose, he decided to self-eliminate. I said, wait a second. Aren't you the same person who was just in the vault on the last episode talking about how you can handle Angie and you decided to chop Rose because you couldn't trust her? You're a menace. Sir, you are a menace. You literally set the tone for all the judgment towards Rose. And was like, oh, this is a deal breaker for me. But now you can't move forward with Angie? Get out my face, Hussein. Go on somewhere. Now, instead of Angie's family meeting him, they get to meet Cam. Y'all, he brought up the busted windows. I'm tired. I'm exhausted of the busted windows conversation because you would have thought that she busted out his windows already. And this is all a hypothetical at this point. Would you do it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't understand why that is one thing that he is literally harboring over this girl. Just say you don't like her, okay? If you think her busted out windows potentially is going to, cause issues in a relationship, don't date her. How about that? Why continue to waste people's time? Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand why Angie is even still around. And considering the guys that liked her, they both had their reasons as to things they did not care for. Hussein wasn't even calling that girl. He wouldn't answer her text messages. You don't like her. Why was y'all playing with that girl like that? Then, y'all, we had Tay. She met up with Cisco. And I think he met her auntie and her cousin. And here's my thing. That man is still talking about his dreams and nightmares. And I'm with the cousin. I don't see y'all as equals because y'all lifestyles don't match at all. Tay, why are you really trying to carry this grown man? And what's even crazier is that, because I didn't forget the fact that Cisco was telling the guys in the vault how, because, my sister, she has some concern about Tay, because she keeps bringing up my stability issues. Sir, that is an issue for that girl. And Tay, I'm not understanding how you're not honest with yourself. You know that you don't want no man who's not stable. So why are you choosing Cisco? It just makes no sense. Like, this whole season, y'all, everybody's playing games. Everybody just wants to stay to the end because nothing makes any sense. Then we get to Jay and Kiera. Y'all, I guess. Like, the only thing that I can say about Jay and Kiera is that for me, these are the only two who really did the season right. And what I mean by that is, if we go back to the original concept of Ready to Love, matter of fact, I'm not even going to count season 1 because that was the weird season when it was a lot more ladies than guys. If you go watch seasons like 2 through 5, The original concept of Ready to Love, those couples, they will literally date around for like the first 2, maybe 3 episodes. By the time we got to episode 4, they were locked in on somebody, and we just saw those 2 people's journey. Okay? And that is what Jay and Kiera have done. They have locked in on each other. They weren't out here really entertaining everybody in comparison to other people. Like, sure, Jay flirted with Sahara, but nothing really came of that. These 2, for me, they make sense. If we are potentially going to date each other, I'm meeting your family, you're meeting my family, like, I get it all. I don't understand how we have the people like Cam still around who got any and everybody meeting his family. Like, that was weird. But nonetheless, back to Jay and Kiera. They met each other's families. Again, we keep talking about this same issue with Sahara. My issue with that is, if we gonna let it go, let it go. Okay? At this point, we don't need everybody involved in the situation. That's the first thing. When they asked him what he thought of her, I think it was her cousins, they had asked him, like, oh, what do you think of Kiera? Like, why do you like her? And the only thing that man continuously says is that she's bougie. And I'm like, her being bougie is such a small trait of hers. What do you like about her personality? What do you like about Kiera? For real, for real. Because to me, her having a little bit of expensive taste ain't nothing. Does she have a good heart? Do you like that she's funny? Like, there has to be something else. You like that she's compassionate about something. What does she have a passion for? Do you know those things? Like, I don't know what it is about Jay, but his obsession with Kiera being bougie is weird to me. Because I'm like, what else does she got going on? Also, when Kiera talks, I realize she talks like Roland Ray. R.I.P. to that man. But we gonna go ahead and move on. So, we see Sahara. Y'all, Sahara's fed up. Sahara's over it at this point, because she done figured out that Cam is indecisive. And I feel like she realized that when they did the last episode, which was her meeting his family, and 3 women showed up. Because ain't no way we this close to the end of the show and it's still 3 ladies here. How have you not cut some people off? Okay? So, when Cam meets her sister, they talk or whatever, and it was cool, but until one point where Sahara's like, okay, so have you made your decision? You ain't got to tell me who it is, but have you made a decision? And that man said no. She said, we got about 12 hours before we have to make that decision. I said, Cam, you really about to play in this girl face to make it seem like you still need to decide between her and Angie? Is crazy. I am with Sahara on this. How are you still indecisive? Cam, you just made a big date with this girl. You kissed her. You made it seem like it's you and her, y'all locked in. But now you still bringing up Angie. That's crazy. Like, I don't understand how we got here. So, at one point, you can tell he's getting frustrated with her because she's frustrated with him. And Cam, at one point, at the end of the day, I think he was in his confessional, he said something along the lines of, you know, the ladies are just making it so much harder for him because Angie's busting out windows and Sahara, she's being impatient. Dude, you think you're the prize, and that's the problem. Cam really thinks that he's the prize in this situation, and I don't understand why. Now, one thing that I will say about Sahara is that I do appreciate the fact that she straight up told him, like, okay, don't worry about it, because tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and go first when we had to make the decision. I said, oh, baby, she knew right then and there. Right then and there, she was not going to choose Cam. And it was completely because of his indecisiveness, okay? And I don't blame her. We get to the end, y'all. Of course, Jay and Kiera, they choose each other. Her man, who only likes her because she's bougie, but okay, girl. Cisco and Tay, y'all, of course he chose Tay, and she chose him. And I said, girl, so he about to come lay up in your apartment and eat up on your food, girl, I guess. And he gonna be driving your car too. Just dumb. Then we got to Sahara and Cam. And first of all, he started with, we had a lot of ups and downs. I said, baby, when did you and Sahara have a lot of ups and downs? What are you talking about? Like, if this was Angie, yeah, you and Angie had a lot of ups and downs. But you and Sahara, not really. So at this point, she's over it. She is over him and his indecisiveness. And I just feel like we let his process, let me not say that. The show let his process last a little bit too long, okay? And then she goes on to tell him that it didn't make her feel good, how he did not have a choice. And I get it. I understand Sahara completely in this situation. Because where did your process lead you to? You and your process led you to having nobody. And he's like, you can't rush me. I don't think she was trying to rush you at all. And even if you were going to choose her, that didn't matter. It's the fact that you waited, practically until you walked out there to be like, yeah, I'm going to choose Sahara. But I get it, Cam. It's because you are a coward. You know that you like Sahara, but because, according to your family, she's a ghetto girl, and that's what you're used to, you need to step out of that. And I feel like you were fighting so hard to try to choose another type of woman. But guess what? The one who probably would have really been down for you was Sahara. And you missed out on her, okay? She chose herself in the end. And that was your fault, buddy. And also, the fact that girl literally said she don't want to be a ride or die, and you kept saying that, further lets me know that you don't respect her. But that's a whole nother story. Y'all, that was Ready to Love, okay? When I tell you I don't understand why we were in Philly, I don't get it. We don't ever need to go back there. This was a horrible season. Now, the reunion, baby, that looks real messy, and I'm going to be reviewing that on time, okay? Because the things that was revealed in that little preview, I said, now, hold on. Y'all got more going on the reunion than y'all got in the actual show. But yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all thought about it. What did y'all think about Sahara and Cam? What did y'all think about Tay and Cisco? Let me know in the comment section. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.